In this video I will show how to diagnose a broken floodlight and how to change those LED chips or LED chip inside. And this unit is 100 watts and there is 2 LEDs inside, and usually the common problems are either LED driver, so the power supply, or the LED unit itself. So let's open this up and see what we have. Here we can see the clear problem. So the LED chips are broken, only few LEDs alive, and those are quite weak. And by using a simple multimeter we just check what is the voltage and then measure to see if it matches. And in this case there is correct voltage, so that leads us to conclusion that these LED chips are broken and we need to replace those. It's actually quite difficult to find exactly the same size and same looking LED chips. The most important thing is to choose the right wattage LED chips. So this power supply is 95.76 watts, so about 100 watts like the label says. And this means that theoretically these ones are 50 watts each, but actually I believe these are 40 watts per each, because it's common rule that power supply should operate about 80% of its max power output. So in this case, if we want to use 80% out of about 100 watts, it means about 80 watts, so these are 40 watts each. And it's difficult to find exact size because these chips are possibly quite old design, so nowadays chips are much smaller even with same voltage and same watts. So here's one example. The light emitting area is actually about the same, just a little bit smaller, but the chip itself is much smaller. And I'm going to try to use these chips because the watt is correct and the voltage is correct, but I have to make some re-drilling so the mounting bolts are matching the new size. Now new holes are drilled and threaded, and this LED chip will fit exactly the center, and I will use these original bolts. And next thing to do is just clean this old heat paste off and put a new one, of course, because these LEDs will produce quite a lot of heat, and this aluminum case is basically a big heat sink, so it's important that we can transfer the heat from this LED to this casing. So just this kind of heatsink compound heat paste is used between the LED and this frame. Now there is new cables soldered to the LED chips, and that one is already mounted with the heatsink paste. And here we can see I put quite a lot, so when I tighten the screws it will squeeze and be totally covered. So the wiring is done. I actually used those heat shrink connectors instead of soldering, but it's it's not relevant because this whole casing is sealed. And the LED chips are now in place with heatsink paste, so we can now test. Yep, really bright. Now final test with case closed. I can see that those LED chips are center of the hole, so the light should emit quite nicely to this reflection plate. So lesson learned, it's not that big deal if the LED chips are different sizes. The main point is that voltage and the power is correct, and then just make new holes so that you can mount the chip and it's ready to go.